Hello, Viking fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Viking Talk with Coach Josh Morgan. I'm Brandon Davis, and as always, glad to have with us Warren Central head football coach Josh Morgan. Coach, good to see you.
You too, Brandon.
A little drier. We got a little wet over there, Germantown, the other night, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, but a hard-fought 28-13 win 2 weeks ago against Germantown. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, hour and a half lightning delay, like you talked about after the first quarter, was tough. It was tough, and our kids handled it well. Handled it just about as good as you could handle it, and did a really good job of getting back locked in and dialed in, which is not easy to do. But they did a good job of handling that part of it, and I think that we played, actually coming out of it. I'm not so sure we weren't sharper, which was good to see as well. So we handled some adversity there, some stuff that you really can't prepare for, but I felt like we started the game good. Germantown responded with a drive of their own, so we had a tight ball game going there early, and then I felt like coming out of the weather delay that we really established ourselves and took control of the game and really held it all the way through the next 3 quarters. So it was good to see us come out, snatch momentum, keep it, and really earn another hard-fought win.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought win. Senior defensive back Trey Sanders, coach, with a 99-yard interception return to seal the game. It was an excellent effort from Trey, but also the defensive line did a good job. I thought Ronnie Blossom did a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback's face. What did you see from that play?
Yeah, well, it's Trey does a lot for us. He's a starting corner, but he's also we work him at free safety a lot, and free safety had gotten injured, Zach Evans, and had to move Trey to free safety, and we had been prepared to do that. And so he was really playing another position than he normally plays, and from film study and really locking in and dialing in to practice and what we talked about leaving out of the huddle, just really made a good jump on the play. And we had a blitz on, and they rolled out into it, and Garrett Orgus and Ronnie applied some really good pressure there and forced him into a bad decision, bad throw, threw it before he really wanted to. And Trey was right there to make a really big play and sealed the game for us. And what a great play. And we all just kind of took a deep breath at that point in time because just what an outstanding play. And then had a really defense did a good job walling it up, finishing the play. Everybody turned defense into offense. Had some good clean blocks, and entourage led him to the house, and that's something that he'll never forget, and we sure did need it, and sealed a big night for us.
Yeah, they were moving the ball offensively on us, Coach, going down the field, and a bootleg play that they got on us a couple of times, so that was a great job of playing some good defense. You talked about that hour and a half lightning delay. Germantown's offense looked like they had us on our heels as they were moving down the field, but felt like it was a good time for us, a bad time for them. I know Coach Mitchell didn't want to go in on that delay. Did you feel that maybe was a turning point of the ball game? Because you did talk about coming out of that hour and a half delay, looked like we were a little more sound. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think, we knew that coming in that they had a running quarterback, that they were going to try to find a way to establish the run game with him. They were doing it in a little bit different way than we had seen, and so it kind of I guess it kind of took us by surprise the second series of the game, but we used that hour and a half time as we were trying to get better, and we were coaching during that hour and a half. Just halftime came earlier, and we were coaching our kids and communicating and getting some things straightened out, and so I felt like the adjustments that were made was good for us. We just got to do them before. Before we normally would. We got to do them after the first quarter instead of after the second quarter. So halftime came early for us. We used it wisely, made some adjustments and tweaks, settled our kids down, and I thought we came out and played much better.
Our freshman kicker, John Artman, has been outstanding. He did miss his first point after attempt this game. He also missed a field goal, but I thought he came through, Coach, for us in some very big moments. Talk about that young man's mental toughness.
I was proud of him. We need to make those kicks, and he knows that and understands it. But I think he found out that we have his backs through the good times and through the bad times, that we've got his back. I thought we did a good job picking him up, which is what we're supposed to do. Young kicker and young player. I thought we picked him up, got a 2-point conversion on Trey Hall's run, and got that point back, and We missed a field goal that we needed, and it wasn't all on him. But it was good to see him come back, make some kicks, great kickoffs, and handle that part of the game, and which is very important. You go to the next play, and but like I said, we always try to learn and get better from every situation, and pat him on the butt, tell him good job, get the next one, and that's what he was able to do, and really proud to see him overcome that adversity. Everything's not going to be roses and perfect for you, and just like life, you got to be able to handle the ups and downs, and he's had a good week of practice, and we're going to keep on keeping on with him.
Yeah, he did a great job of rebounding. Some would have folded there, but he helped us along the way. So, Coach, we had a bye week last week before we head into region play. You've seen the modification of the schedule due to COVID and due to the time of the year and the heat. We've lost a game. So used to we had 11, now we have 10. You're seeing most schools, they're foregoing that bye week and they're playing a game to keep things, fresh or whatever. But you've decided not to do that. Talk about the importance of maintaining that bye week as you head into a region game.
I think about half of our district does not play before district. I think it's good for us. It came at a really good time for us. We've got a couple guys that had some injuries and needed a couple days to get better. I think it also gives us a chance to look at ourselves and evaluate ourselves and take a deep breath before this massive run that we're finna go into. And it also gives us 2 weeks to prepare for a very good football team in OakGrove. So I don't think it was a no-brainer to me, and it's been good to us, and we've used our time wisely, and our kids have handled the week well as well. So a lot goes into that. It's rest, extra preparation for games that matter the most, and also gives you a chance to to really buckle down, and if you need to make some adjustments, it gives you time to do that.
3-0 coming out of non-region play. That's the ultimate goal. You've done that. You've succeeded. What did you learn about your team so far?
Yeah, the first season, you can look at it as a trial run, preseason, whatever. It's I think that we were starting to get our identity, understand who we are and how we can win. I think we're got a good indication on what players that we can trust and count on, and who can bring in and give us that depth. And you look at the games that we played. I got to play a bunch of guys in the Red Carpet Bowl, and then you get into a slugfest with Vicksburg and Germantown. So, and you come out of all that still learning and still getting better every week. But you're 3-0, and you've done nothing but win. So, like where we're sitting at right now, we know we're getting into district now, and we're going to play some extremely good teams and well-coached teams, and every game matters at this point in time right now. So different season, and kids got to make sure that we understand that and how important each and every one are.
This is Viking Talk, visiting Coach Josh Morgan. Coach, you just talked about that. We get into the new season now. You got a 7-game stretch of, you're fighting for playoff spots each and every week. Very important as we open up this week. We travel down to Oak Grove to open region play and take on a very good Warrior team. What can you tell us about Coach Causey's bunch?
Typical Oak Grove, just extremely talented. They have 4 or 5 receivers that they look just alike. Great size, great speed, great athleticism. Defensive line, offensive line is long and athletic, and just they look the part. Got a quarterback that can run and throw it, and got backs that are extremely talented as well, and I think they've gotten the majority of their defense coming back from last year's team that went to South State Championship. So talented bunch, well coached, and they've had a lot of success over the years. So typical Oak Grove, a very good football team.
Well, the very balanced and dynamic on the offense, led by number 9, Anthony Maddox at quarterback, averaging 366 yards a game. A big challenge for our defense, Coach. But talk about the importance of our offense of sustaining drives and not keeping our defense on the field this week.
Yeah, we're going to have to win. For us to win, we're going to have to win it together. And it's going to have to use all 3 phases and play really good team football. And, sometimes a great offense is a good defense, and keeping them off the field and sustaining drives. And special teams, all the hidden yards that we always talk about, whether it's punt or kickoff or any time that we're going after points with the kicking game. it all goes hand in hand, and it's going to take it all, and we all got to do our part, and defense has got to set the offense up with great field position. So, Oak Grove puts a lot of pressure on you. They're going to put 7 men in the box every play, and they're going to use those great athletes, and they're going to lock them up in man coverage, and they're just what they're going to do. And the question is, can you run the ball on it? Can you get the ball off in time to make big plays down the field? And that's nobody. It's not a guessing game what they're going to do. It's no secret, and they've been very successful with it over the years. Offensively, they're going to spread you from numbers to numbers on the field, and they're going to give their athletes space. And the question there is, can you apply pressure to the quarterback? Can you tackle in space? So they put a lot of pressure on you. Use those athletes in a good scheme, and we've just got to make sure that we're on point in all 3 phases.
Rushing wise, they kind of do it by committee, Coach. 126 yards a game, but they're led by rusher J.Q. Gray, a young man. He gave us fits last season. They also will use him out of the backfield as far as a receiver goes. What have you seen from Gray, and what type of challenge does he bring to us?
Well, he doesn't. He's a fun guy to watch. He's not big in stature. He's very quick, explosive, and tough to bring down. Really hard runner. He's going to make some plays, and he does a good job wherever they need him. They go to him, and during winning time, they'll bring him out of the backfield, put him wherever he is. You better know where number 1 is. So he's a good player. He's played a lot of football for him. For him to have so much success, at his size, he's not a big guy at all. But you can tell he's got a lot of heart and plays the game the right way. We've talked to our guys all week that we got to rally to not just him, all of them. They're hard runners, and we've got to go to the whistle and not anticipate him being taken down, making sure he's down. So good player, going to be hard to contain, and we've got to do a good job of playing great team defense there.
Well, a big challenge for our defense to talk about. It's going to be the first true passing attack that we have saw. Last week against Germantown, they brought out 5 receivers, Coach, and it seemed like we struggled. It's kind of a bend, don't break type defense. Do you expect to be more aggressive with your defensive backs getting up in the face, or is it more comfortable for you to have more of a cushion for them out there on the edge when they're facing these 5 wide sets?
When you get in those situations like that, you got decisions to make. It's either a death by 1,000 cuts or one big play. I mean, you have to you try to make a team be good and consistently good and all the way down the field, and put a lot of pressure on them. But we've got to do a good job of mixing things up. I think we also have to know the identity of our team and what we're good at and what we're not good at, and not try to put our kids in a position where they don't need to be in. And so we have to be careful with what how we're attacking, and make sure that we're not doing something that's not a strength of ours. So we know what we are. We know what our strengths are, and we've got to do a good job again of trying to apply pressure, but we can't afford to leave no safeties back deep and to help where help's needed. So we've got a good game plan. Our guys are locked into it and dialed in, and the biggest thing is minimizing the blow. They're going to do good things, and they're going to make big plays. But what we've got to do is be opportunistic, and we've got to be great tacklers, and we've got to be on point. You're getting ready for a wing tee one week. Now you're getting ready for an empty type of a 5 wide offense that's just all over the place. It's just different scheme, but again, everybody has a job to do, and we've got to make sure we're on the same page.
Your offense, though, Coach, you have to be pleased, averaging 172 yards on the ground so far. Offensive line seems like they're coming together. They're starting to gel. You talked about getting that identity in place. What are you seeing from our offensive line up to this point?
Well, we've gotten better. We've gotten better, I think, week to week. Still have got to continue to make improvement there, because these defensive lines are only going to get tougher and tougher as we go forward, and we're going to see another one against Oak Grove. And so I think we're getting some finding who the right guys are is a big part of that, and still feel like we have some good depth there. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. That's one of those things that comes together as time goes, and we've been fortunate enough to win as we were learning and getting better and more comfortable with it. And I think they've had a really good 2 weeks of practice. And again, they have a big task at hand versus OakGrove. You know, we've got to be able to run the ball. We've got to be able to win those matchups. And I think what we've played so far has gotten us ready for this moment.
Well, OakGrove, they're going to throw a three-man front at you, 4 linebackers on the field, a very big nose guard. They know we're going to run it. They know that's our identity. But what are you hoping to see from Jack Wright and this receiving core this week to help maybe help that running game out a little bit?
Yeah, we had plays last year that were there, and we did not do a good job of being opportunistic. When we call those shot plays and when those plays are there and we finally, when we get an opportunity to make those plays, whether it's, seeing the rush from a quarterback's perspective and not giving our receivers a chance to ball and taking the sack instead of staying in the pocket, keeping our eyes down the field and taking a shot, because, again, you're sending 7, you're going to be in the quarterback's face, and that's the game that they got to play, but we've got to be able to get them out of it, and we've got to be able to take advantage of it. So we've got to be able to protect our quarterback. Quarterback's got to do a good job of sitting there until the last minute and throwing a very accurate football and knowing where he's going before anticipating the route coming open, because this man coverage and this blitzing all out, it's not an easy thing to defend. But Jack's got a year under his belt, and he needs to play like a senior.
Yeah, and your receivers, they've got to help him out too. If he's scrambling around, they've got to come back and make plays. They've got to catch the ball. So the receivers really have to grow up this week when you're playing this type of game.
Your route concepts, getting open very fastly. Like I said, you're not going to have long to throw the ball. If you got 3 seconds, you've done good as an offensive line.
Right.
So we got to have great route running, great route concepts, in and out of breaks. And like I said, man, it's all got to come together and everybody being on the same page. So got another shot at it. I think we learned a lot from last year's film. Again, got another shot at it, see what we do with it.
Well, long trip this week. We have had a couple of away games, but this is going to be your first real long, road trip, 2.5 hours, 3 hours on a bus. For folks at home that know, that's compared to us going to Starkville, where we usually stop and get out and stretch around. So how do you handle this long trip knowing, you've got to go down to the Hattiesburg area?
Yeah, it's not fun, but it is what it is. So we'll hopefully have a good, comfortable bus ride and use it for as an advantage for us, just to kind of get away from everything and everybody kind of lock in and get some rest on the bus. And we'll get them out there. We'll stretch them around and get them going and get back into our normal routine. But traveling is traveling, and as long as we're comfortable and do it the right way and business trip mindset, and try to turn it into a strength. That's all we can do.
But it's exciting, though. You are going to a new place that most of these kids have never played at. So big-time facility, big-time atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's got to be some excitement there.
It is, and I'm excited about it. I've never been to OakGrove, and most of our players, I know our players haven't. And like you said, you got a team that's played. In the last 10 years, they played in 5, 6 state championships and been right there in the mix of some more. And you can't ask for much more as a player or coach. And we're excited about this opportunity. I don't know if we'll get it again. I don't know what this reclassification does for us. But we've had a great week of preparation. Our kids are dialed in. Our coaching staff's got a good plan in play. And, we're going to shoot our best shot and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, something that's unique about this week, too, I don't know if you're aware of this, Coach, but we are the New Orleans Saints Mississippi High School Game of the Month in the state of Mississippi against this OakGrove bunch. And what that means is the New Orleans Saints is going to cover that. They're going to have it on some of their digital media. It'll be on their website. They're going to take in photos. In past games, they've had past Saints greats at the game. They've had their mascot there. Really unique opportunity for Warren Central, and also to get some exposure in areas where we may not get exposure.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And you already taught me more than I knew already. So that's really neat. Anytime we can get our program, our school, community, our kids around that kind of stuff, man, that's awesome. So I hope we put on a good show.
Yeah, it was a online voting on the Saints website through Twitter site, and we got that out there to our fans, and thankfully we beat out Jefferson Davis County, Columbia, which is going to be another great matchup down there. So really cool for these kids. Some of our players are going to have their pictures on the New Orleans Saints website. That's going to be really neat.
Yeah.
Hopefully we come away with a win on that one.
Absolutely. Everybody that our community and our old Vikings and everybody, anytime something comes up where you're voting,
Oh, yeah.
and little Vikings come, they'll come to the table. So we appreciate that and the platform that you guys have allowed us to have. So we're very appreciative, and like I said, hopefully we can put on a good show.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Hopefully they have some former Saints there that we can see pregame and talk to. That's going to be a lot of fun. You talked about it a little bit, but how we look this week in practice and during this 2-week, I guess the holdover, you had your bye week. How have you guys looked during these 2 weeks preparing for Oak Grove?
I think we've done good. Like we asked our guys, gave them Friday off, let them have a good long weekend. I thought we had a good middle of the week practices, got in the weight room some, continuing to work on our strength and conditioning part of it. And like I said, we've really done good. Our trainer has been busy, trying to get our guys as healthy as possibly can. And we've also been working. And our kids have done a good job buying in. It's not easy to prepare during the week when there's not a game on Friday. They understood the importance of getting better every day, winning one day at a time, so I'm very pleased. I don't think we could have done anything different or anything better than what we did, and that goes really appreciative of our kids and coaching staff and the way we've handled it.
Well, I put the challenge out there to them, Coach, that if they win, I'll buy them ice cream again.
All right.
So it worked out for Vicksburg pretty well. I think we had 10 gallons of ice cream and all the toppings that we're eating. Your dad even was in there partaking. So we had a great time doing that with the kids. And I gave them the challenge that, hey, you want more ice cream, beat Oak Grove.
That's
so
right.
we'll see what happens, right?
That's right.
And if that's what it takes, we'll do it every week.
Absolutely.
So, but a lot of fun with that, and I'm glad the kids enjoyed it. So what are going to be the keys to beating this great Oak Grove team?
Yes, so first of all 3 phases, as we mentioned earlier, we have to play, Warren Central football is complementary football. And what that means is everybody setting everybody up and playing together. We've been very fortunate with turnovers. The difference in the Germantown game was they had 2 big turnovers and we had 0.
Right.
Those little things that a lot of times gets overlooked is so important. Winning football is winning football. Rushing yards, penalties, turnovers goes a long way. And being really good at what we are, we're going to have to be great on the defensive end and tackling in space, getting after the quarterback and really applying pressure. But that's just the beginning. You apply pressure, he's going to scramble. Now you got to be good on the back end of it. And so it's just we're going to have to play good. You're going to have to play good all night long. It's not just 1 or 2 series. I mean, it's constant pressure. Every player on the field that they got can go the distance. So it's going to be a great amount of pressure on our defense. We're going to have to be great, and we're going to have to be great for 4 quarters. And I think the next 2 things offensively is we have to run the ball, whatever that looks like. We've got a really good scheme in front of us. And if it's 3 and 4, if we're staying positive, and then when the time comes and we're able to break it, we've got to take advantage of it. And those shot plays that you mentioned early on, we've got to hit at least 50% of them. And it's just for us to beat Oak Grove, we've got to take advantage and hit those deep balls and hit those shot plays that we've got drawn up, because once they see it, you can't come back to those things. So we've got a couple things that we feel good about. We just got to hit them. And so it's going to be a really big night for us. It's a great opportunity for us, being a big-time atmosphere and a big-time game. And we win this one, they only get bigger.
That's right.
And we're going down there to win. Our kids believe they can win. They have prepared to win. Just going to have to play really good and be really good at what we are.
Well, it's going to be fun, Coach. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
We're going to have a great night. Again, I want to thank you guys that voted to help make us a New Orleans Saints Game of the Month, State of Mississippi. That is a cool deal. I didn't know much about it until I delve into it, and I was like, we got to win this. So I'm glad we did. Hopefully we'll see some former Saints there, the Gumbo, the mascot, hopefully they're there. But more importantly, we're allowing our kids in our program to get some exposure down in South Mississippi and even into Louisiana. So nothing but added bonuses for all that, Coach. That
right.
seemed like a really big deal for us there. But that's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. We're going to go to Oak Grove this week. Next week, we are back at home taking on the Brandon Bulldogs. That is going to be another big one, Coach. They don't, like you said, there's no easy games here on out, so it's going to be fun. Hope you join us in the house here next week. Until then, I'm Brandon Davis. He's Josh Morgan. We'll see you next week as we talk about Brandon and talk about this Oak Grove game. But until then, Rise up, Vikings.